In a year, we've been asking ourselves and one another one time and then again, what do you fear? I've been pondering how difficult it is to feel joy when fear is taking up all the space. Fear breeds anger, fear breeds resentment, fear breeds outrage, and before we know it, fear has crowded out our capacity to notice what is good and all that has been given to us. Still, joy has a capacity to break through the small spaces and seep through the nature of things. That is the point of this odd Gaudete Sunday. In the midst of all our blues and purples, colors of waiting and reflection, honest accounting, grief, remembrance, in the midst of all these seasonal blues and violets, comes this day of pink. Joy belongs here. Now, for those of you who think that pink is not a serious or manly color, I remind you that it was medieval popes, priests, and lords of the church who decided this is what joy would look like. Pink. Maybe we'd all be a little less grumpy if we wore more pink. Say yes to pink. Say yes to joy. Joy sometimes requires us to learn to see it. That kind of seeing that we spoke of last week, to see what God is up to pay attention, and then to say yes. Say yes to joy. This morning, early in the morning, before the first light, I took my dogs out into the field behind our house. The street lights on School Street were blurred through the falling snow. My dogs wear little lights on their collars so we can spot them in the dark. Mochi is in white, Bento's is red. They also wear bear bells to warn away critters. Bento in particular likes to give chase. So out across the gray and black field danced two little lights in Christmas colors, accompanied by the jingling of two little bells. Mochi, with bone cancer, is a short timer, but she won't show you any of that. Instead, she flung herself into the snow and rolled and wiggled about, utterly exuberant with joy. Joy to resound through the morning, to gladden my heart, and to make me sing of the glory of God. Say yes to joy. A few years ago, my friend Jenny was bemoaning the chaos of her home at Christmas time with a group of us friends. 15 years already, she had been dealing with her husband's Parkinson's disease, the falls, the unclear thinking, all the doctor's appointments, the mess this man who loves to bake leaves behind in the kitchen, the way sometimes his shaky hands makes flour go all over the place. And that day she was griping about the 30 shoes left by the 12 people who were there at her home during the holidays. The chaos was stressing her out and wearing her down. My friend Linda said to her, "Aren't those 30 shoes 30 blessings of joy?" Just this past Wednesday on our monthly Zoom call, Jenny commented that 20 people had been at her home for Thanksgiving, and it seemed like 45 blessings of joy were in her front hallway. Say yes to joy. And hear Mary's voice. The conversation with an angel, a messenger that touches deep inner wisdom somehow in her and transforms her fear into a yes. And notice this, her yes doesn't change how difficult this journey will be. It doesn't change what will happen. It doesn't take away all the pain or the worry, all the challenge to come. All that will come regardless. But her yes makes room for joy. Her yes opens up space in her life for hope to circulate, for courage to take root again, for joy to be carried even in the midst of all that uncertainty. Mary's yes did not come from certainty. In fact, it came from attention. Attention to God's presence, attention to her own fear, attention to the promise of hope unfolding within her. We know where this story leads, this child born into a world of sorrows. And yet Jesus is born for joy. At the resurrection, we will discover that joy is not naive or shallow, but joy can loosen the bonds of fear a little bit. It spreads itself through our lives, even when they are constrained by loss, meaninglessness, or despair. Say yes to joy. Yes, we can keep asking that question, what do you fear? It is an honest and a necessary question, but even so, Advent reminds us that Jesus is intended for joy. And we are capable of noticing joy as it creeps in, as it seeps through, as it washes over us, even drenches us unexpectedly. Say yes to joy. Close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead, close your eyes just for a moment. And allow a memory of joy to rise up in you. And take a little space. Let it expand. What did that moment look like? Sound like, smell like, feel like? What is it like in your body as joy moves through you, warm, pink, and alive? Open your eyes again and bring joy with you. This is intended for you. Acknowledge fear. Let faith be your way of seeing and say yes to joy. Our next hymn is an Irish tune. You'll find it actually is maybe a tad tricky at first, but there's a repetitive piece to it, so you'll start getting used to it. But pay attention to the words in particular. These are words that are supposed to mimic Mary's words of the Magnificat. So enjoy.